Thanks for joining me this morning. As a reminder, today's the last day of Wellness Bingo. So make sure you're completing those cards and then you'll submit. The link is found on our Slack page. So if you need that, just let me know after class and I can get that to you. All right, we are starting standing today. So don't get too comfortable. We're going to be at the top of our mats. I want your feet about hip distance apart. Nice, comfortable distance. I'm going to have you reach up on an inhale. Really breathe deep. Expand the rib cage as you inhale. And as you exhale, I want you to tuck your chin and roll your body down one vertebrae at a time. This should take you 5 to 6 seconds. So really, really slow as you roll all the way down. Once you hit the bottom of your forward fold, big inhale in. Exhale, I want you to engage the core. So tuck the belly button up towards the spine and then start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, keeping your head, shoulders heavy. Again, 5 to 6 seconds on your way up. And then we'll repeat that. Inhale, breathe in deep. Arms go up, rib cage flares. Exhale, start to roll it down one vertebrae at a time. This should feel really good. Take your time, bend your knees as much as you want. Inhale at the bottom, fill up. Exhale, engage the core. Slowly let your air out as you roll up. Chin stays tucked to chest. Last one here. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, release, roll it down. Take your time, nice and slow. Maybe you're able to keep your legs a little straighter. Big inhale at the bottom. Exhale, engage. Slowly breathe. Let your air out as you roll up. Awesome job. Go ahead and take those feet about as wide as your mat. That's usually the most comfortable. We're going to do a walkout series here. So there's lots of modifications for these walkouts. They can be pretty, it's a full body exercise, so they can be pretty tiring, but I'm going to give you modifications. So I want you to start with a hinge. We're going to send our hips back. My back is nice and flat, but I have a slight bend in my knees. And I'm going to reach my hands down to the mat and walk it out. So the modification here is to come down onto your knees. You're going to come into a plank position. That's either going to be modified or in that full plank. We're going to send our hips high into a downward dog, and then we're going to reach back. So my right arm is going to reach towards my left leg. I'm going to replace it on the mat and then switch. Bring my left hand to the mat and walk my hands back in, plant my heels, take it up in that hinge. So I'm back to my flat back, sending my hips forward, squeezing my buns, and I'm going to repeat that. My hips go back, flat back, hands plant. I'm packing my shoulders, so sliding those shoulder blades down. Coming into my plank, whether that's high plank or low plank, you're going to send your hips high, reach back, come down. If you need to come back to your knees, then tuck the toes, switch sides, and then we'll walk it in. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Find that flat back, engage the glutes. Come up. Repeat that one last time. Hinge at the hips. Walk it out. Shoulders packed to your plank. So find that perfect plank position. Then the hips go high. Reach back. Reach back. Back to your plank. Walk it in. Good. Find that hinge. Come up. This time we're going to stay on the mat, I promise. So hinge. Walk it out. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So we're hips high, can kind of reach those heels to the mat to get that stretch down the back of the legs. We're going to rock here from my downward dog to a plank with a knee pull. So I'm pulling that knee in, sending that leg back, down dog, plank, opposite knee comes in center. And repeat. The modification to this is going to be to lower down into that plank and extend one leg back. Come back, press back child's pose, modified plank, opposite leg goes back. So either way, we're all alternating legs here and coming in and out of a plank. So we're getting that mobility through the shoulders as we're building strength. Starting to feel the body warm up. Back and forth. This is our last set here. So do one more each leg. And then you're going to meet me on all fours. So knees both come to the mat. Hands right under the shoulders. Cat and cow here, nice and easy. So inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round it out. Inhale, drop. Exhale, round. Now notice here how your hips are moving. So I'm tilting my pelvis forward when I drop my belly, and then I'm rounding it out and tucking my tailbone. Now I want you to find something in between those two. So it's going to feel like more of a tuck than a drop because we all sit in a drop normally. So, but it requires our core to be engaged, and that's exactly what we want. Now we're going to test the stability here while remaining in that core engagement. I'm going to extend my left leg back and my right leg forward, or my right arm forward. That'd be hard, both legs. Go ahead and bring it down and switch. So as you get into this movement, it's almost like you're moving in slow motion because you're forcing your body to keep that core engagement as you remove some stability. Eyes are on the mat in front of you. You're coming into full extension and then coming back to your mat. I should be able to set your favorite drink on your back and you wouldn't spill a drop. So this core engagement is something we're going to come into in every position today. And we're going to try, our goal is to hold it and maintain it while we move. Go ahead and rest. Meet me on your left side on your mat. So my left forearm, my left elbow, I should say, it's going to be under my left shoulder. My left leg is going to be bent, so it's like my little kickstand. My right leg is going to be out. We have two options here. We're going to do a little side crunch. Your first option is to keep your left hip on the mat, so you have more surface area to hold. My right arm's going to go up, and I'm going to pull elbow to knee. So that's option one. Option two, I'm going to lift up into a side plank. So I take my hip out of the equation. My right arm goes up, and I'm going to pull elbow to knee and reach. Okay, so you have those two options. We're all going to start with a packed shoulder. So even if my hip is on the ground, I'm not hanging out here. I'm lifted in my rib cage and my shoulder. Then I'm going to squeeze my glutes, regardless of where I am, even if my hip is on the ground, because we want an open front of the body. Maybe we lift up. That's totally up to you. Right arm goes, and then we're going to pull. Elbow to knee, reach long. Elbow to knee, reach long. All I want you to focus on is maintaining that core. So my belly button is pulled towards my spine, even if I'm here. And when I pull my knee and my elbow, I get a little deeper contraction, and then I release. Deeper and release. Good. This is 3, 2, 1. Good. If you're lifted with me, go ahead and lower. We're going to stay on this side. So again, we have two options here. We're still working that core. We're kind of getting more of the transverse abdominals now. So I'm going to take my right arm. I'm going to reach it through like I'm threading the needle, pulling my shoulder blades apart. So my rotation is coming from my rib cage, not my hips. And then I'm going to open up, squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then repeat. So again, you can do that with your hip on the ground, or you can lift up and do that with your hip off the ground. So pick your variation. Again, we're all packing our shoulders and pulling that belly button in. I'm going to reach through And then I'm gonna open up. Pinch those shoulder blades. Imagine someone's poking you right in the middle of those shoulder blades. And you're pinching their finger. Open up. Reach through. Breathing as we go. Inhale as we rotate. Exhale as we open. We have 2 more. Our upper body gets a break after this, I promise. Last one. Open and then lower down. All right, for this next one, you get to lay all the way flat. Get a little rest. So we still want the front of our body to be open. So I'm going to have you bring your knees in line with your hips and your feet are together on top. So your legs are stacked. My glutes have to be on so that I have that stability. My core is pulled in. From there, I'm going to lift that top leg and lower that top leg. Lift and lower. Try to have that right hand off the ground. You can even put it in the air if you want a little extra challenge, but we just don't want to cave in here. We want to really open our chest since we spent all day with it closed. Exhale as you open. Your hips shouldn't move at all. They remain stacked the whole time. Really squeeze that glute. Lift the knee high. This is 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Relax it down. Go ahead and press yourself up to a seated position. Into a staff pose, but almost a wide leg one. So about as wide as your mat. You can kind of move around so you feel those sits bones underneath you and your spine rises up out of that. Our hands are going to come behind our head and I want your elbows open. So again, think of someone poking you between your shoulder blades or pinching their fingers. So our shoulders aren't rising up, our shoulder blades are going back. From here, we're coming back into that rotation. So on our exhale, we're going to rotate to the left. As far as we can get, when we hit our end point, I want you to reach that left arm back to get a little further and then come back center and we'll switch sides. Exhale, twist to the right. Once you hit your end, reach that right arm back. Little further and bring it back center. Repeat that on the left. Exhale. We're rotating from our rib cage so my hips stay where they are. Take a breath here before you extend your left arm. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Get a little further. Inhale, center. Right side. Inhale as you pause. Exhale, extend that arm. Inhale forward. Exhale, twist. Last one on each side.
No, nadie.
Hang in there with me.
Nadie.
Inhale, back center.
Ver,
Exhale, twist. You keep going. I'm just going to mute. All right, we are back on our right side now. So once you finish that last twist, we're back on our right side. We're not back, but we're moving to our right side, I should say. And we have that same series. So maybe you pick the same variations or maybe you mix it up a little bit. But our right elbow is underneath our right shoulder and we're packing that down. So from here, we're squeezing the glutes. Left arm goes high and we're crunching. Elbow to knee, reach. Maybe you keep that hip on the ground. Maybe you lift it up. All the cues are still the same. And then we're bringing our focus to that core. Our arm and leg know exactly what to do. We want to make sure that core is protecting our spine the whole time. Breathing as you move. Make that breath audible. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull. You've got it. Only 3 more here. Stay with me. This is 2. Last one, elbow to knee. Set that hip down if you had it lifted. Moving into those rotations. Again, you have your 2 options. Pick whatever one you feel you want the challenge with. We're gonna rotate, thread the needle under, pull those shoulder blades apart, and then open up, pinch them together. Rotate under, open up. Rotating through that rib cage. My hips stay facing forward. It's like I'm wringing my spine out, like it's a cloth full of water. Open, reach under. Move as slow as you need to here. Not too worried about the pace on this one. We have 2 more. Open up, reach. Good, lower down. Now we get to lie all the way flat. Rest your head. We want our full front of our body open. Heels are stacked and they're about in line with your back side. So my glutes are squeezed, my core is engaged. I'm going to lift that knee and lower. Squeeze the glute. If you have a hard time activating your cheek, poke it. A lot of us have sleepy cheeks because we sit in our chairs all day. So to connect our mind to that muscle, it helps to actually poke it. Squeeze as you lift. Should almost feel like it's going to cramp. Let that breath out. You got it. Four more here. 3, 2. Last one. Relax. Meet me on your back. Take a second to settle in on your back. Spine is heavy. You can rock those knees side to side. And then come to a place of stillness. We're going to start with a couple pelvic tucks just to get that core engagement in this position. So again, we're imagining our pelvis is a bowl of water. And I'm going to exhale and tip the water into my belly button. So my low back goes flat against the mat. I can't get my hands under it. Inhale, I'm going to relax it. Exhale, tuck, tip that water. Now my hips are not coming off the mat there. It's all in the core. Imprint that low back and release. Last one here, we're going to tilt so I can't fit my hands underneath my back. I'm going to hold this engagement as I squeeze my glutes and lift my hips into a bridge. From here, I want you to try to turn your palms to face up. That's just going to help open up the chest. We're holding here, and this is your option 1. If you just want to hold, that's fine. If you want to increase that instability, then I want you to start to lift one toe off the mat. One set of toes, I should say. So my right toes come off, my right heel is planted, and then I'm going to switch. So it's like you're doing heel walks, but in a bridge. Lift the toes, lower. Lift, lower. It's a small movement, but you'll notice as you concentrate on those toes, your hips start to lower. We want to keep them up. Lift, lower. My glutes are squeezed, my core is engaged, my toes are lifting. We have 3 more here, and then we're going to take it into a full foot lift. So my left foot is going to come off the mat. I'm going to march. Left foot lowers, right foot lifts. My goal is that my hip bones stay facing the ceiling at the same level the whole time. So I'm moving slow, pressing through the foot that's on the mat, keeping my hips at the same height. 4 more, we're almost there. 3. Stay lifted for 2. Last one. Both feet on the mat. Roll it down. Nice and slow. Hug those knees in. Rock side to side. Give yourself a little low back massage. And then let both knees fall to the right side. Spinal twist. I want your hips and your knees at 90 degrees. Arms can go out. Start to slow your breathing down. Feel free to close your eyes. On your next exhale, help those knees back center and switch to the other side. Again, 90 degrees in hips and knees, arms out, slow breaths. When you're ready, slowly come out of that. Make your way up off your mat nice and safely and slowly. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here next week.